Okay, let's explain this. Top 10 bitches in anime. And we're not talking about bad bitches, sassy bitches, neutral bitches, or even...
Yeah, bitch, work.
No. Just flat out pathetic bitches. The ones who feel entitled to everything around them and having complete meltdowns when they don't get their way. Also, this list isn't exclusively for women, as there are plenty of male bitches in anime, and I like to think we treat all bitches equally on this channel. Got it? Good. Let's highlight some good old bitches now, shall we? Here we go. Let's start off with the family that inspired me to do this list, the Saimori family from My Happy Marriage. The father, Shinichi, the stepmother, Kanoko, and their bratty, entitled daughter, Kaya. One of the key plot points in My Happy Marriage is seeing powerful families marrying each other to gain social status and power. Shinichi and Kanoko were childhood lovers torn apart when the Saimori family arranged a marriage with the Usaba family. Mio was born from this arrangement, only to lose her mother due to an illness. And of course, instead of tending to his grieving daughter like any good father should, Shinichi instantly marries Kanoko and they have their daughter Kaya.
What the fuck?
From that day forward, the nasty trio did everything they could to make Mio feel like a gigantic burden, forcing her to be a maid, belittling every little thing she does, breaking any sentimental item she had, and even taking away her first love for Kaya to marry.
The audacity, I tell ya.
Even when they were so happy to marry her off to a man who's rumored to be a cold-hearted monster. Yeah, that's a cold-hearted monster right there. They naturally had a change of heart because they believed Kaya deserved Kudo over Mio. Of course. So they kidnap Mio and start torturing her in order to make her give up her marriage to Kudo. Little did they realize... Kudo was the last person they'd want to piss off. And of course, the cherry on top of this satisfying sundae is...
Did I not just say I've heard enough of your horrid nonsense? I would not and will never marry an arrogant woman like yourself, even if the very heavens demanded it.
The Saimori family were entitled jerks losing everything due to their pride, and yes, because they were flat out bitches. Most families usually have that one rotten apple, and who better to demonstrate this point than Dallas Genoard from Bakano. Dallas was a short-tempered brat, resenting his father and brother for leaving him out of the family business, so he runs away to live like a thug in the streets of New York. This doesn't deter him away from the family though, especially when he hears about his grandfather's passing. Does he rush home to mourn with his family and mend the bonds broken by him? No, he goes back to see how much of the inheritance he gets, while also plotting to kill his father, frame his brother for the murder, and convince his sweet little sister Eve to fork over the rest of her money.
I don't know what I expected.
That plan ultimately fails when he finds out a pair of thieves stole the entire family's fortune. Still having a hard time believing these two stole all of the Genoard fortune, but I digress. So he continues to live a life of crime, mugging any sucker he and his croonies meet. This eventually leads him to meet Silnard, where they make an agreement for Dallas to become immortal and enact his revenge on Firo in exchange for a crate stolen by— oh, come on!
Inconceivable!
You two are literally gonna steal the entire city at this point. Well anyways, case in point, Dallas uses his newfound immortality to seek revenge on those who wronged him. He just goes all out to kill anyone who made a fool out of him because he's an entitled little bitch feeling like he can do whatever the hell he wants. No matter who he wrongs and kills, Dallas will stop at nothing to be on top because he feels entitled to it. Which is ironic now because his actions led him to being buried in cement and left to sit for all of eternity at the lowest point of the Hudson River. What a way to go for a bitch like him. Alright, it's finally my time to talk about one of the biggest bitches from an otome fantasy, hold on, 1 second, I got a message from my friend Laura. What do you mean there's someone worse than Jonas? If you remember my video reviewing Sugar Apple Fairy Tale, I went on and on and on over what a gigantic bitch Jonas was. But after seeing Two Perfect Saints... Oh, we got something worse here now, don't we? Prince Julius from Two Perfect Saint, probably one of the most entitled princes in all of anime. Feeling entitled to everything, he starts off the series by selling our main protagonist, Philia, to a different kingdom because he thought her sister was prettier.
Okay. I don't like that. I don't like that.
If that wasn't enough, he tries to kill his own father and brother in order to secure his place as the new king. But when everything backfired, he goes off like a crying, pathetic, screaming little bitch. And it's so satisfying to watch. Instead of thinking upon his own actions and how selfish they are, he tries to escape from his imprisonment and falls under the Demon King's influence, only to be tossed aside like garbage when he's no longer useful. It's the perfect way to go for a sad, bitchy, entitled prince. And here we have one of the creepiest bitches in anime, Nobuyuki Sugo from Sword Art Online. Here we go again. A selfish man keeping a teenage girl in a comatose while she's trapped in a video game world as his digital princess. What's your age gap again, sir? Sir. Goddamn.
I don't like where this is going.
Sugo feels way too entitled, keeping Asuna for himself, literally gloating to Kirito that he will be the one to marry her. Yikes, my dude, yikes.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the f-
Naturally, when the ultimate showdown happens, Sugo just has to take the opportunity to assault Asuna while making Kirito watch. Sir, you're enjoying this way too much. You need Jesus.
What?
In the end, like any other bitch, when Sugo doesn't get his way, he finds Kirito in the real world and attempts to actually kill him. When Kirito still wins, however, Sugo is left to sit in his own piss-filled pants, crying like a defeated little baby. What a sad, pathetic loser. And a bitch. How about we highlight a very toxic and very bitchy couple, Makoto and Sekai from School Days. Remember this pile of shit?
Goodbye.
One of the most infamous anime naturally had to have some bitches in it. Makoto falls in love with a girl named Kotonoha. He doesn't really know what to do though, so his lovely friend Sekai convinces him to practice on her, as you do, basically allowing him to kiss and touch her in order to be ready for Kotonoha. I mean, I've heard of friends with benefits, but this is manipulation right here. And what does Makoto do to repay her kindness, I guess? While also expressing that he might just have some feelings for her? He sleeps around with all the other girls in his school.
What? What the fuck?
It happens? I don't miss high school at all. This not only breaks Kotonoha's mental state, but also pushes Sekai to take desperate measures. She tries to pull Makoto back into a relationship by, you guessed it, faking a pregnancy and telling him he's the father.
No, you're not.
Seriously, this is a bitch move right here. But like, seriously, why does she want him? He practically used her for practice, made her believe he loved her, and ended up sleeping with a bunch of other girls. Like, why? But what does Makoto do when he hears about Sekai supposedly being pregnant with his child? he confesses his love to Kotonoha, and they become a couple again.
Listen, there's a lot to see in this life. I'm not wasting it here.
At least he was somewhat decent to break the news to Sekai, while he proves how much he loves Kotonoha by making out in front of her. What am I watching? Hey, wrong video. Maybe some other time. It didn't help that Kotonoha suggested to Sekai via text message to, get rid of the baby. If you know what I mean. Double yikes. Seriously, they deserve each other. You would think Sekai would just do better for herself and just move on to find someone else. But no! Ladies and gentlemen, she instead gives us one of the greatest moments in all of anime. She freaking murders Makoto with a knife. I don't know, maybe she was just practicing her part in the school play of Chicago.
And then he ran into my knife. He ran into my knife 10 times.
Well, that's School Days, everybody. A show about two bitches manipulating and hurting everyone around them because reasons. At least they got a nice boat. You would think gangs wouldn't have bitches, but here we are. Yut Lung from Banana Fish is somehow a jealous little gangster bitch. Now at first, Long comes off as a stoic man who will not hesitate to get rid of you if you wrong him. So, don't do that, and you're gonna be fine.
That's not bad. Write that one down.
What we didn't realize though is that Long can be a petty little bitch, especially if you're happy. I'm not even kidding. He has a pretty messed up past, so he hates seeing people around him being happy. He thought he had a good friendship with Ash, considering the two of them came from very traumatizing backgrounds, but once Ash starts to have a more positive friendship with Eiji, a man with a privileged background, he doesn't hesitate to break off the friendship by any means necessary. He literally made multiple attempts to get Eiji killed just because he can't stand seeing Ash happy with him. My dude, you're usually cold and calculating towards your enemies, but now you're a jealous little bitch because Mr. Sunshine comes in. It's understandable. That doesn't mean you're not a bitch. At first, I was actually gonna mention the ladies in waiting from the show as an honorable mention. Let's face it, a good chunk of them are bitches. But they were trained to be like that in order to climb the complicated imperial ladder. They're literally sent there to please and serve the empire in hopes that their family ranks will climb in society. So I can't really fault them for doing whatever they're told to do, no matter how. But then there's this bitch. Sheen from the Apothecary Diaries is the pure definition of a selfish bitch. She and her cousin, Lady Lihua, were both sent to catch the Emperor's eyes in hopes of being his consort. As you can see, he chose Lady Lihua, and she chose Sheen to be her head lady in waiting. I mean, you'd think that'd be enough since at least one of them got the position that they wanted while the other still gets a very impressive title, but that wasn't enough for Sheen. She does everything she can to ruin Lady Lihua's chances of being a successful consort. Remember the note Mao Mao made that could have saved Lady Lihua's baby? Sheen was the one who tossed it aside, ultimately allowing the poor baby prince to die.
That's gonna be a yikes for me, dog.
She also didn't stop the other ladies from harassing Mao Mao as Lihua continued to be sick in bed. You would think if the head manager of the palaces made a very strict rule to not use poisonous makeup, she would have done everything she could to get rid of it. Right? Because, you know, she's the head lady in waiting. But no. She allowed Lihua to get close to death from the poison while allowing the other ladies to push Mao Mao away.
You little bitch! You're a bitch!
Eventually, Lady Lihua gets better and becomes pregnant again, so Sheen takes it upon herself to use a very dangerous perfume that could cause Lady Lihua to have a miscarriage. And all because she felt entitled to be the Emperor's consort. Her selfish actions led to the death of her cousin's baby, the deathly illness of her cousin, and the attempted murder of her cousin's unborn baby. Yeah, it's safe to say that Sheen is a flat-out selfish bitch. Do I even need to explain why?
No! Maybe.
The princesses Flare and Norn from Redo of Healer. I mean, they're the ones who practically made Kyoto the broken vigilante he became. Just saying that should be enough said right there. Princess Flare was the one who found Kyoto and told him he was one of the 4 chosen heroes to guide their kingdom to everlasting peace. But because he's not of noble birth and couldn't handle his powers that well, she took it upon herself to set Kyoto up as an imprisoned test dog. She got him addicted to drugs, allowed all sorts of knights and noblemen to, take advantage of him, did nothing to stop the other 2 heroes to do messed up things to him, and is a downright hypocrite when she allows herself to enjoy herself, using him, while also punishing Kyoto to try to do the same thing. This is a very elaborate way of me hinting at something, but YouTube will only let me talk about so much, if you know what I mean.
Not to me, nudge.
Not only that, but she and her sister Norn plotted a scheme to perform a complete genocide towards anyone who isn't human to gain even more power for their kingdom. In the alternate universe where Kyoto has the advantage with Flare under his influence, Norn decides to lure him out by kidnapping all of his former villagers and threatening to kill them all if he doesn't show up. But she also made them consume poison anyways, because, why the hell not? They're all gonna die anyways.
Sure, why not?
Flare and Norn, 2 spoiled and bitchy princesses being dealt swift karma by the very monster they created. Guys, hear me out. Oh, come on, how am I wrong?
Oh, I have a point, I promise.
Light Yagami from Death Note fits the definition of bitch. He starts off as an entitled genius thinking he's the only one who can make the world a better place. In fact, he truly believes that with the Death Note in his hands, he will become the god of this world. He kills anyone deemed unworthy to live among society, causes the deaths of innocent bystanders because they got in his way, manipulates Misa into doing his bidding, convinces a different Shinigami to end their life by saving Misa, pushes his father to an early grave to defeat Mello, cheats on Misa with an old college flame just to manipulate her as well, and does it all while riding on his self-made high horse.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
He has a disturbing god complex and superiority issues, causing him to transform from a kid thinking he can make the world a better place by getting rid of all criminals to a serial mastermind trying to outwit and kill anyone who gets in his way. But the thing that ultimately makes him a bitch was the grand finale. When he ends up losing to Nier and gets exposed as Kira, he goes out like an insane psychopath, twisting his words to convince everyone how he's right and everyone else is beneath him. He's God, they're pawns, and he can do whatever he wants.
Alrighty then.
Because of this outburst and failure, Ryuk decides that Light was no longer entertaining and writes his name in the Death Note. Kind of a fitting end, if you ask me. He lived his life living like an entitled bitch, so he died like a bitch. Wait, you're actually surprised Louise is just an honorable mention? I mean, yeah, she plays the tsundere trope a bit too hard and is unnecessarily abusive towards Saito, but even that characteristic is used more as a comedic trope that's more formulaic than natural, such is the case for Annie Harem, but she's only a bitch because she was raised by a bunch of bitches who bullied her for not living up to her family's expectations. I feel for her. I mean, she's still an annoying bitch, but I feel for her. I'm sure all of you already know who number 1 is. And it's not only because it's extremely obvious, but I honestly can't think of another character we all unanimously hated. A character so foul and selfish, everyone in the entire anime community gathered as one to wholeheartedly agree under one voice, this one's a bitch. Princess Malty S. Melremark, aka Mind from the Rising of the Shield Hero. We already know why she's here, but let's just go over it again, okay?
I'm listening.
When the 4 chosen heroes get isekai to this world, Mind joins the Shield Hero's party to aid him on his quest. She doesn't hesitate to spend all of his money on whatever armor she needs, but says it'll all be worth it for their quest. The next day, however, she does the unthinkable by falsely accusing Naofumi of assaulting her.
Excuse me, what?
You would think knowing the dire situation her kingdom was in would make her realize she has to keep the heroes united and strong for the betterment of her people. But no! This bitch loves creating drama just so she can get more attention.
Why?
Once she realizes how much her father hated the previous Shield hero, she used that as her advantage to soak up even more attention. If she claimed the Shield hero to be the devil in disguise, Daddy was going to believe her no matter what. Does her bitchery stop there, though? No! She interferes in Naofumi's duel against douchebag McGee, that's his name, don't look it up, encourages her fellow subjects to be racist towards demi-humans, exploits the local townsfolk of their earnings to go straight back to their party's finances, mainly her wallet, allowed rich nobles to enslave demi-human children as they're tortured to death, tried using the uprising of the 3 Heroes Church in order to gain more power over the entire country, and of course, she tried to kill her own sister and frame Naofumi just so she could secure her seat as the next heir to the throne.
I cannot believe the audacity!
Even when her misdeeds are called out on trial and her title gets removed, she still has the sheer audacity to plot her revenge against the guy who cancelled her execution. I'm not even kidding! She was supposed to be sentenced to death for high treason, but Naofumi asks her mother to spare her just so she can live on with her humiliation and punishment. But instead of being grateful that he spared her life, she ends up trying to poison his food at a farewell party. Like, damn, girl, you are such a piece of work.
This bitch!
Mine is practically one of the most selfish, spoiled, and narcissistic bitches in all of anime. Even her own mother calls her out for being a pathological liar. You know you made one hell of a bitchy character when everyone cheered for her downfall. Just saying. Are you even surprised that she's number 1? Everyone knows that she is the top example of an anime bitch. For her narcissistic behavior, cruelty, lies, and selfish schemes, there is no doubt that Princess Malty is the biggest bitch in all of anime. Also, did you know that as part of her punishment, they changed her name?
Malty will be called Bitch, and her adventuring name will be Whore.
So yeah, her name is legally known as Bitch. There you go. Well, wasn't this a fun list? Let's bitch about this in the comment section, shall we? Oh my god, how many times did I say the word bitch? Anyways, who do you think is the biggest bitch in anime? Leave your answers in the comments down below. Special thanks go out to my amazing Patreon supporters for helping us keep this channel alive. If you'd like to support this channel and get exclusive previews of my upcoming videos, subscribe to my Patreon today. This video was actually voted on by my Patreon supporters. You can actually help me pick a new video to make next. For those of you supporting me by watching this video, don't forget to leave a comment down below and like this video. Thank you everyone for your amazing support and generosity. More awesome videos will will be on the way, so stay tuned to Anime America.